In today's current affairs, first thing is Vajra Prahar. Vajra Prahar. V-A-G-P-A-J-R-A P-R-A-H-A-R. Vajra Prahar. India-US joint military exercise. Vajra Prahar is India-US joint military exercise. It mainly focuses on special operations in urban areas. It mainly focuses on special operation in urban areas. It will share best practices. Share best practices between two armies. Share best practices between two armies. Generally, it will be conducted annually, but now it is being conducted this year. The last was in March 2017. From 2010 onwards, there was very abrupt exercise. From 2010 onwards, very abrupt exercises. It is enough that if you remember Vajra Prahar is between India and US, need not write all the points. Vajra Prahar is between India and US. You need not jot down all the points. For your information, I told, generally it should be conducted annually. Generally, it should be conducted annually, every annum. But sometimes, for example, from 2012 to 2015, it was missing. 2012 to 2015, no exercise was conducted. In 2017 March, it was conducted. Again, it is going to be held. Again, it is going to be held. And it is for particularly to develop joint shared best practices. To develop joint shared best practices. Mainly focus on special operations in urban areas. Special operations in urban areas. Vajra Prahar, a joint military exercise between India and United States of America. This is the first thing which is important for the exam. Next topic is about Raisina dialogue. Very important for the exam because Benjamin Netanyahu, who was in visit, inaugurated this Raisina dialogue. Raisina dialogue was inaugurated by Benjamin Netanyahu. The event was jointly organized. The event was jointly organized by MEA. MEA means Ministry of External Affairs along with Observer Research Foundation, ORF. Ministry of External Affairs along with Observer Research Foundation, ORF. This year the theme is managing disruptive transitions. Managing disruptive transitions. Managing disruptive transitions. Ideas, institutions and idioms. Ideas, institutions and idioms. IDIOMS. Ideas, institutions and idioms. This is for geopolitics and geoeconomics. It is a flagship program for geopolitics and geoeconomics. Geopolitics and geoeconomics. This version is a third version. This Raisina dialogue is a third dialogue. It can be compared with Shangri-La dialogue. Can be compared with Shangri-La dialogue held at Singapore. Regularly held at Singapore. Remember this. And next is BBIN, Motor Vehicle Agreement. BBIN, Motor Vehicle Agreement. BBIN, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal. BBIN, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, Motor Vehicle Agreement. This agreement is under SASEC, SASEC, South Asian Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation, SASEC, South Asian Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation. Very important bit for films. Star mark SASEC. SASEC, SASEC. Star mark question for films. SASEC was set up in 2001. SASEC was set up in 2001. It brings together Bangladesh, Bhutan. SASEC brings together Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Myanmar, Nepal and Sri Lanka. Myanmar, Nepal and Sri Lanka. You may get a prelims question. Which one of the following country is not a member in SASEC? They will give like Afghanistan or they will give like Pakistan, like that. You have to eliminate the odd man out. SASEC is the most important question this year. Okay, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Myanmar, Nepal and Sri Lanka are the members in SASEC. Put star mark, there is a chance. There is a chance of you getting this question. Next topic is what is eye prism? I capital PRISM, eye prism. It is one of its kind. It's a unique intellectual property competition. Eye prism is a intellectual property competition for college and university students. Intellectual property competition for college and university students. That is eye prism. Remember, it was conducted by CIPAM, CIPAM and DIPP. CIPAM and DIPP. CIPAM and DIPP. CIPAM, Cell for IPR Promotion and Management. CIPAM, Cell for IPR Promotion and Management. DIPP, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. CIPAM and DIPP. Eye prism is a competition relating to intellectual property rights for students and college students and university students. It's called eye prism. Three states are fighting for Mahadayi River. Mahadayi River water. Can you name the states? Karnataka, Maharashtra and Goa. Karnataka, Maharashtra and Goa. Three states are fighting for Mahadayi River. MAHADAYI. Three states. The row between Goa, Karnataka and Maharashtra over the sharing of Mahadayi River now got escalated. In the fight got escalated, increased. In this perspective, made a question. Article 262 of the Indian Constitution, interstate river water disputes. Article 262 of the Indian Constitution, interstate river water disputes regarding Mahadayi river water. Last year, Kaveri river water dispute of Leda. And if you see 2016 general essay paper, there is an essay on interstate river water disputes. On Kaveri, based on Kaveri, there is an essay on interstate river water disputes. And everybody knows that in that particular year, Kaveri issue is going to come in the exam. Interstate river water dispute, each and every newspaper have noted. And if you see 2016 question paper, you can see interstate river water dispute. When such dispute comes, for example, Sardar Sarovar Dam, Narmada, they may ask you tributaries of river Narmada. Whenever issue comes related to that, there will be a question. Okay. So these type of things are very important for UPSC. What is Havre? Havre. H-A-V-R-E. H-A-V-R-E. Havre. It's the world's largest deep ocean. World's largest deep ocean volcanic eruption happened in New Zealand. World's largest deep ocean volcanic eruption happened in New Zealand. Deep ocean volcanic eruption, Havre, H-A-V-R-E. Remember this? Havre, world's largest deep ocean volcanic eruption. So these are the important current affairs which we are missing from last 2-3 days. Apart from that, you all know Benjamin Netanyahu is in visit. We will have a special discussion on that. And next important article today, ESSER report, ASER, ESSER report, ASER, ESSER report. If you go to mains exam or interview, educational reforms is very important. Reforms in education, the quality education in India is very important. The quality of education in India is also very important. In that annual survey on education report, page number 11 Hindu paper today, there was a data relating to ESSER report, annual survey on education report. 36% of India's rural youth can't name our capital. If somebody was asked what is India's capital, if you go to rural India, 36% of rural youth can't name India's capital. 14% of the rural population between 14 to 18 can't identify India map. Only 79% of the people can tell in which state and the state name. There are, last year result report says, 5th class student cannot do 2nd class mathematics, cannot read 2nd class English book. Most of the students got this question in UPS interview, ESSER report. Almost 90% of the interviews, when they go into education, they call it ESSER report. This report is very important. Okay, 36% of the rural youth can't name India's capital. 36% of the rural youth can't name India's capital. 79%, only 79% can answer to which state, in which state they are living. In which state they are living. And 42% of the rural youth can point out the map of their state. 42% of the rural youth can map out, can point out in the map in which state they are living, the state. They can identify the state, only 42% can identify the state. That was the state of education, quality of education in India. This is the first thing. And I remember in my childhood, I read an article in this ESSER report. That was, the teachers working in government schools were asked to write the spelling of attendance. Attendance spelling. Most of the teachers wrote ATTENDENCE. It is DANCE. More than 50% of the teachers wrote this wrong spelling to attendance. Okay. These are the things which you have to find out. While discussing the answers in your paper, you have to do this thing. Beyond Basics survey. The survey name is Beyond Basics. Just read this survey, complete survey and the data. There is a fact line you have to by heart. This fact line you have to remember for mains and interview, not for prelims. Mostly for mains and interview. Annual survey on education is very important, page number 11 today. And there is one more article which is also important, is in page number 11. The very next article is about under 5 infant mortality rate. Under 5 infant mortality rate. 39 deaths per 1000. Earlier it was 43, now 39. IMR is 39. IMR is 39. Earlier it was 43. 1.2 lakh fewer deaths. Deaths were reduced in India. Infant mortality rate got bettered in India, and infant deaths were reduced in India in the year 2016. This is official data. For every 1000 children, only 39 are dying. IMR will be counted in 1000. MMR will be counted in lakhs. Maternal mortality rate generally in lakhs, IMR in 1000. For every 1000, 39 children are dying. We have to reduce further because it is in the Sustainable Development Goal and also in the Millennium Development Goal. We have to work on IMR rates and MMR rates. And right now, 39 per 1000. This is the data line. Next important article, gore. This is about jallikattu. This is about jallikattu. The traditional game in Tamil Nadu, jallikattu, has two contentious issues. Jallikattu, Kambala, bullock cart fight, Kodi Pandalu, cock fight in Andhra Pradesh, almost one and the same. Okay, here comes various issues. Initially, Supreme Court issued a stay on jallikattu. Tamil Nadu state government wants jallikattu because it's a traditional game in Tamil Nadu. Central government issued a special ordinance 2 years back. Here comes an issue. There is a board, star mark question for prelims. There is a board called Animal Welfare Board of India. Animal Welfare Board of India. Till last year, animal welfare activist is the chairman of the board. Till last year, animal welfare activist is the chairman of the board. In these type of issues like jallikattu, the board have a stand and the state government will have a different stand. Generally, the board is with activists and the government wanted to continue jallikattu and board used to have a different stand. From last year, government changed the rules of Animal Welfare Board of India. According to the new rules, one of the senior officials from Environment Ministry will be the chairman of Animal Welfare Board of India. So that the ministry will take a objective decision according to the government. The first chairman and the famous activist in Animal Welfare Board of India was Rukmini Devi Arundel. Again a very important question for prelims. Rukmini Devi Arundel, the first chairman of Animal Welfare Board of India and also famous Bharatanatyam dancer Rukmini Devi Arundel, the wife of George Arundel, who was associated with Annie Besant and also Theosophical Society and also Home Rule Movement. Rukmini Devi Arundel was a wife of George Arundel and also Rukmini Devi Arundel was the first chairman for Animal Welfare Board of India. From then on till date, only activists are the chairmen. Now, from last year, it was a senior official from Environment Ministry. That is also indirectly was written in the editorial. Apart from that, unless people start doing something, activism just will not yield any results in jallikattu. And as all news is coming up, still people are dying in the game who go with that. And when you ride a bicycle, when you ride a scooter, you are asked to wear a helmet. Cricket players will use helmets sometimes, and most of the hockey players also use some protection mechanism. But in jallikattu, which is more crude, people go without any protection there to watch the game. You have to think about that. Next important article is about follow the grain trail. Following the grain trail, TRAL trail. You all know, few months back, Santoshi Kumari, a 11 years old girl, died, seemingly allegedly by starvation in Jharkhand. Allegedly with starvation in Jharkhand. Here comes two important issues. Government has to give subsidized food grains to the poor people. Ours is a socialist economy. India, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. India is a country. Socialism is one of its astounding objective. We have excess of food grains. We have very good food grain production. But the problem is linking of the ration cards with Aadhaar. Just because some of the ration cards are not linked with Aadhaar, 11 lakh ration cards were considered as fake ration cards. And in that, one of the victims was Santoshi Kumari's family. Now the thing is, in India, PDS is the issue, public distribution system, and TPDS is also an issue. And recently, in 2013, we have Food Security Act 2013. In 2013, we have Food Security Act 2013, wherein which we are giving subsidized food grains. Subsidized food grains called Food Security Act 2013. We are giving subsidized food grains. For all these things, we need to have systemic reforms. Next important article is on face the inevitable. Face the inevitable. There are two terms in this article. One is bond yield, next is bond price. Government bonds. When bond yield increases, bond price decreases. When bond yield decreases, bond price increases. Or when bond yield increases, bond price decreases. When bond yield decreases, bond price increases. It is reverse. Bond yield and bond price. Bond yield means the yield which you get regularly with the bond. The price means the price of the bond at the maturity date. This is bond yield and bond price. With bond yield increasing, banks are at loss. Banks are at loss because they are the holders of government bonds. They are the holders of government bonds, most of the government bonds. Already they were in burden. They have a lot of NPA problem. Now again they are at losses because bond price decreases. When you hold lot many bonds, when the price decreases, automatically you will get loss. Here comes bond price decrease and government is at, and the banks are at loss. This is a important term which you have to understand. Next thing is the people connection. The people connection. The article is about India-Israel. The article is about India and Israel. The people connection. There are 6.5 lakh citizens in Israel. Per annum, 40,000 people come to India as tourists. Most of the Israelis come to India after their compulsory military service because for them, India is a country for relaxation. As we go to Scandinavian countries, they come to India because they have very rigorous military service. Compulsory military service is called conscription. In Israel, there is a compulsory military service. After that, they will come and relax India after retirement. In this Israel, there are 2-3 issues. One, there are certain Indians who are Jews, Beni Israels, Cochin Jews, etc. Now they were completely assimilated into Jewish community. We have very good contacts. This time, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have come to India also to increase tourism and Indian tourist visit to Israel. His target is at least per annum 1 lakh tourists from India should visit Israel. 1 lakh tourists from India should visit Israel because people to people contact will take a long way to develop any relationship. Will help in developing any relationship. But the most important thing is better contacts and connectivity is important. And India is a land of tolerance, as we all know. India welcomed Jewish refugees to India. That also happened in India. So let's hope that Indian tourists to Israel will also increase because generally we will go to tourism to most of the Northeast, Southeast Asian countries, Singapore, Malaysia, or America or Scandinavian countries. Better we should also opt for Israel so that we will have very good contacts. And the last and most important article today is like humans, flies and bees also have emotions. Apart from that, the most important article this year is Australia to offer payment for Great Barrier Reef rescue ideas. Great Barrier Reef rescue ideas. Australia announced that if anybody tells an idea to rescue the Great Barrier Reef, Australia is going to compensate. Australia is going to compensate, give a lot of good prize money to them. There is no such idea. The only way of rescuing coral reef is to protect them properly. 2,300 kilometers barrier reef. You all know there are 3 types of reef. Barrier reef, fringe reef, atoll. Barrier reef is separated from the mainland. Fringe reef is attached to the mainland. And atoll is generally like a circle which is near to the mainland. There are 3. There are 3 types of coral reefs. Barrier reef, fringe reef, atoll. This time, this year in GS you will get a question, you might get a question on coral reefs. And here comes coral bleaching. The concept called coral bleaching. Coral bleaching means the coral reefs, because of global warming and excessive sunlight, becoming white. becoming too white, vulnerable to all. The death of zooxanthellae, the algae present in the coral reef. The death of zooxanthellae, the algae present in the coral reef. This is very important. I think because from last 1 year, there are 5-6 articles in most of the environment news articles regarding Australian Great Barrier Reef. You may get types of reef or zooxanthellae or concept of coral bleaching or the sunlight. Their ideal sunlight is around 25 degrees. More than that they cannot tolerate. Less than that they cannot sustain. Because they are also after living organisms. They are also living organisms. So the death, more and more death of zooxanthellae means more and more bleaching in coral reefs. There are 3 types of coral reefs: fringe reefs, barrier reefs and atolls. Read more on that. You can see videos also. There are not many videos available in the internet.